You've been training jiu-jitsu.
Yes, trying.
I mean, I've seen you do jiu-jitsu. You're extremely you're very athletic. You know how to use your body to commit violence. Maybe there's better ways of phrasing that, but anyway,
It's been a skill that's been honed over
yeah,
time.
yeah. I mean, what do you like about jiu-jitsu?
Well, first of all, I love the way I came to it. It was my daughter. I think I told you this story. She's at 11. She told me that she wanted to learn self-defense and she wanted to learn how to protect herself, which I just, as a mom, I was so proud about because at 11, I was not thinking about defending myself. You know, I loved that she had sort of that desire and awareness. So I called some friends, actually a mutual friend of ours, and asked around for people who I could work with in Miami, and they recommended the Valente Brothers studio. And you've met all three of them now. They're these remarkable human beings, and they've been so wonderful for our family. I mean, first starting with Arabella, I used to take her, and then she'd kind of encourage me, and she'd sort of pull me into it, and I started doing it with her. And then Joseph and Theo saw us doing it. They wanted to start doing it, so now they joined, and then Jared joined. So now we're all doing jujitsu, and
Great.
for me, there's something really empowering knowing that I have some basic skills to defend myself. I think it's something as humans we've kind of gotten away from. You look at any other animal, and even the giraffe, they'll use their neck. The lion, the tiger, every species, and then there's us, who most of us don't, and I didn't know how to protect myself. And I think that it gives you a sense of confidence and also gives you kind of a sense of calm, knowing how to de-escalate rather than escalate a situation. I also think as part of the training, you develop more natural awareness when you're out and about. And I feel like especially, you get on an elevator and like the first thing people do is pick up their phone. You're walking down the street, people are getting hit by cars because they're walking into traffic. I think as you start to get this training, you become much more aware of the broader context of what's happening around you, which is really healthy and good as well. But it's been beautiful. The Valente brothers, they have this 753 code that was developed with some of the sort of samurai principles in mind. And all of my kids have memorized it, and they'll talk to me about it. Theo, he's 8 years old. He's able to recite all 15. So, benevolence and fitness and nutrition and flow and awareness and balance. And it's an unbelievable thing. And they'll actually integrate it into conversations where they'll talk about something that happened. Yeah, rectitude, courage.
Benevolence, respect, honesty, honor, loyalty. So this is not about jiu-jitsu techniques or fighting techniques. This is about a way of life, about the way you interact with the world, with other people. Exercise, nutrition, rest, hygiene, positivity. That's more on the physical side of things. Awareness, balance, and flow.
It's the mind, the body, the soul, effectively, is how they break it out. And the kids can only advance and get their stripes if they really internalize this. They give examples of each of them. And my own kids will come home from school and they'll tell me examples of how things happen that weren't aligned with the 753 code. So it's a framework, much like religion is in our house and can be for others. It's a framework to discuss things that happen in their life, large and small, and has been beautiful. So I do think that like body-mind connection is super strong in jiu-jitsu.
So there's many things I love about the Valente brothers, but one of them is the how rooted it is in philosophy and history of martial arts in general. A lot of places you'll practice the sport of it, maybe the art of it, but to recognize the history and what it means to be a martial artist broadly, on and off the mat. That's really great. And the other thing is great is they also don't forget the self-defense route, the actual fighting routes. So it's not just a sport, it's a way to defend yourself on the street in all situations. And that gives you a confidence in, just like you said, an awareness about your own body and awareness about others. Yeah. It is, sadly, we forget, but it's it's a world full of violence, or the capacity for violence. So it's good to have an awareness of that and a confidence how to essentially avoid it.
100%. I've seen it with all of my kids. And myself, how much they've benefited from it. But that self-defense component and the philosophical elements of, Pedro will often tell them about like wu wei and sort of soft resistance and some of these sort of more Eastern philosophies that they get exposed to through their practice there that are um, sort of non-resistance that are beautiful and hard concepts to internalize as an adult, but especially when you're 12, 10, and 8 respectively. So it's been an amazing experience for us all.
I love people like Pedro because he's like finding books that are like in Japanese and translating them to try
Yeah.
to figure out like the details of a particular history. Like he's like an ultra scholar of martial arts, and I love that. I love when people give everything, every part of themselves to the thing they're practicing.
Yeah.
People have been fighting each other for a very long time, and I love from the Colosseum on. You can't fake anything. You can't lie about anything.
Yeah.
It's truly honest. You're there and you either win or lose. And it's simple. And that's like, it's also humbling that
Yeah.
the reality of that is humbling.
And oftentimes in life, things are not that simple, not that black and white.
So it's nice to have that sometimes. That's the biggest thing I gained from jiu-jitsu is getting my ass kicked, which is the humbling. And it's nice to just get humbled in a very clear way. Sports in general are great for that. I think surfing probably, because I can imagine just, face planting, not being able to stay on the board. It's humbling. And the power of the wave is humbling.